Hello everybody, hope you're doing okay. Bit of an old railway come Vaporfly one today. I got my Vaporfly 3s on, about to do a run. I'm standing on the site of Rogate station, a bit of old platform here, road over bridge behind me. Although we're actually in a place called Nywood, so rather confusedly Rogate is about 1.5 miles that way. And I'm going to run to the next station down, which is Elsted. There's a segment between the two, but I'm going to take a longer loop. I think I need to do about 6:30 pace on the way back for about 2.5 miles of rolling terrain. So it'll be a good test of me and the Vaporflies. Sorry I haven't really put out many videos of late. Well, after that 5k I did in early April, I then tweaked my hamstring, if you saw my Vaporfly 1 versus 2 versus 3 video. So this is actually the first time I've actually worn the Vaporflies since. So I've just been sort of ticking along. I didn't really do much running at all for a couple of weeks, then I've been getting back into it. Started feeling a bit unfit, but we'll see how we go today. I did a harder run last Saturday, which wasn't too bad, but nothing more than about sort of marathon pace or sub-3 marathon pace. Today I think I treat this a bit more like an acceleration run, so I'll head off, do a few sort of steady miles and see if I can hit that last segment a bit harder, and also report back on the Vaporflies. I see Andy Rayner, Forrester Dean runners, got them in my exact same size, and he was saying that they had felt a bit of a speed wobble going downhill. So interesting today, because it's a bit of uphill and downhill on this. The road surface isn't great with all the potholes, so it'd be good to sort of see how that is. He did remark, I put a picture up there, that it's slightly narrower in the midsole, although when I looked at it, it's actually quite difficult to land there because that is the bit of the shoe where it doesn't have any rubber on it. So there's a lot of outsole rubber at the front, same at the back, and when I checked, the heels is probably about the same width, but it's squared off. So if anything, I would say it's a bit more stabilised at the back because it's just more squared off. And the midsole, as I said, it's really hard to think that you can actually land there because there's no rubber there, and yeah, it just feels like it's sort of slightly in a groove. Anyway, we'll get on and check that out. So just a quick reminder of my shoes here, how much sort of room I've got above the laces here, how close I've got the tongues touching. But having said that, I have got a nice little lockdown now down the sides here. It feels quite containing. But there's quite a lot of spare material down the sides on here, you see, like that. So that's why it kind of feels like I've got quite a lot of room at the front. So a bit of an ode to the coronation and the old railway here. We've got Prince Charles looking very resplendent in his nice woolly jumper. And behind it we've got a remnants of a bit of old railway here, a little bit of track and a little bit of a trolley. So a nice little touch. So, an old foot soldier there. Right, into my first mile, about marathon pace. Trying to put a bit of effort into this sort of 10k circuit. As I said, I haven't raced now since that 5k early April. Had to miss the 5 mile version of the Vex AC race on Tuesday. It looked like some good times in that. So I did find with the Vaporfly 3s that they felt soft warming up, and then when I got into the 5k pace, which obviously looked quicker, they felt just like I was getting on with it. So far they're kind of a mixture between the two. I'm sort of 7-minute miling here, whatever, just about struggling to get some breath out, and can feel a slightly wider platform at the front, maybe slightly tailing off at the back there. Not really unstable as such. I mean, these shoes are always a bit unstable because you've got a bit of high stacking, a very soft foam, and the carbon plate doesn't really sort of compensate for all of that. But yeah, so interesting to see further on in the run how it is, but not too bad at the moment. I think the main problem at the moment is just unfit. I'm struggling to keep this conversation going. Right, so chuck it later, so I'm going off a little hill. Oh, that was quite a climb up to this little village here. So I drove this in the car first, thinking, oh, it's fairly flat, but amazing how much difference it is when you actually get on foot. So we're in the car. We're doing all right. I don't actually want to push too much here because I've got the segment to come, so I want to save myself a bit, shouldn't I? I do feel, as I said, definitely wider in the front. Not sure it's good. I've got them really tightly locked down. Not really ideally suited for my foot shape, unfortunately, because wide forefoot, but they do taper down nicely in the midfoot, so I don't feel my foot's moving around. Anyway, we might go down there, down here. So nearly 3 miles in, I think I have to revise my estimates on this segment because I'm realising I'm not very fit. Those few little drags really took it out of me, and although I'm not really feeling I'm firing all cylinders, the old legs are pretty dead already. And this is a village called Elsted, and I'm running to Elsted Old Station, which is the other station 2 miles away from where I started. So it's interesting how these stations weren't actually right in the village they served. Perhaps that's why this line closed in the 50s. Anyway, you've still got a little flat bit for now. So for Andy's viewers, Andy Forrester Dynamite, I'm going downhill now. I'm actually sort of trying to land on the midfoot, but I feel like my gravity is almost taking me there anyway. As I said, I find it very difficult to land on that midfoot exposed bit that's really narrow, because it's kind of recessed by the fact that the rubber's around it, raising the rest of the shoe up above it. So yeah, no real problems for me there, I would say. I would say that these shoes don't feel like they're helping me much today, partly because they're just not fit enough to benefit, I think. So it's interesting that a couple of months on from the marathon, hamstring injury, and one good 5k, then so much of my fitness is gone, which is a real shame. But sometimes I think with a marathon, if you don't have a bit of downtime afterwards, then you haven't tried hard enough. And these people like do a marathon almost every week. Oh, I didn't do that well, I'll do one next week, see if I can do a PB. Well, were you really trying in the first one? I don't really get it sometimes. Anyway, let's crack on to this old station. Okay, Bridge Cottage. We're coming to the bridge over the old railway here at Elsted. Well, this is actually Elsted Marsh. So let's see if I can see anything over the bridge here. Here's the Elsted Inn, looking for a publican. Another segment back to Rogate Station in Nywood, and I've got nothing in the legs, so I don't think this is going to be a successful CR attempt. I should be needing about 6:30 pace, and I'm only doing 7s. A mile into the segment, I'm actually not going too bad. We've got a slightly little downhill bit here. It's a bit up and down. I've got a chance after all, so I'll keep my head down and see where it goes. I do feel there's a bit too much width at the front here. I feel slightly feeling I'm not getting efficient sort of toe off as much as I could do in the V1s. This was like it's spreading out a bit more, but not too bad. Looks like I've got Cresta Wedding, South Downs Manor. Okay, last little bit to go. 100 metres. This is feels flat. Oh, feels like a all-out effort. Not sure it's enough because like a few little times in there. All right, let's get over the line. So together, that's some welly at the end there. The Coronation Dolls. Another Coronation Doll, this time the old late Queen with a suitable corgi here, and the message, "We do miss you, man, but long live King Charles," and some marmalade sandwiches for the corgi. Nice little touch. And here looks like the new village hall in Nywood. Well, a grand affair, isn't it, for a little village? Okay, run down. I actually surprised myself there. Managed to get the segment after all. 6:35 pace it was, and about 6:50 pace for the whole run. So just goes to show that perhaps sometimes you're fitter than you are, but on a rolling hilly circuit there for 7 miles, you kind of think, well, that's the same pace I managed for 26.2 in Seville, but it feels like I was working so much harder. So yeah, I think the shoes didn't really help much today. I think the old legs were pretty unfit. We were quite pleased to sort of get that pace going at the end, because I feel like that was like a flat out effort really. But yeah, I mean, I sort of, after the 5k, I thought, oh, these shoes are great. After the run today, I was thinking, oh, maybe I still prefer the V1s. But I think I do, there's an element of thinking, well, today I'm just a lot unfitter than I was a few weeks ago. And is it really more about yourself than the shoes? Because I think whatever shoes I was wearing today, I would have struggled on some of those hills. Even that final bit when I was doing 6:35 pace average, there was a few sort of vertical slopes, and it was quite a struggle. The shoes sort of felt quite nice. I just feel that just because it's just a bit wide for me at the front, it just feels like my foot is splaying a bit more than I'd really like in a race shoe, but not too bad. But I think I really just need to get the old fitness going. They do feel slightly softer, I think, than the V1s and the V2s. Maybe because there's just slightly more higher Zumax stack, and the rubber is just a bit sort of smaller. But yeah, you don't notice it that much. I mean, it's not like Invincible squidgy soft. You feel there's quite a lot of response there. But yeah, how would that feel after a marathon? I think, well, I only do a marathon when I'm a lot fitter. So it's a bit of a hypothetical question, really, because testing a shoe when you're not fit isn't really quite the same as testing a shoe when you're fit, because obviously you're going to go a lot better whatever you do. So what's on the cards next? So it was the Frets 3000. I'm not sure if I'm really fit enough to even bother doing that, but perhaps they ought to. I'll chat with Matt. He's still coaching me at the moment, and then I've entered the 5k, Vets 5k in June, and then another one in July, I think. So plenty of races to come yet. It's only mid-May. Feels like it's still winter, to be honest. We've actually finally got some sun. So I hope you've been running well and doing better than I have for the last few weeks. But at least I think I finally turned the corner today, and that was quite a good little run, even though it felt like it was hard work for the pace. Anyway, hope you found this interesting. Like and subscribe on that, and see you next one then. Bye. In case you're wondering where Sue is, she's now actually in Portugal after valiant attempts in the elections. She was a bit disappointed with the Oxshot result, but did very well in Claygate, got the most votes. So it's likely she's going to become chairperson of the Claygate Parish Council, which would be quite a thing, and she's got more elections she's hoping to stand for in the future. So I think I'll be still on leafleting duties, and maybe it'll be a bit warmer. I can actually wear this orange singlet that I bought especially for the purpose. Okay. So back for those posts there, it's fenced off. It looks a bit overgrown, but that heads back towards Petersfield. And if I turn around here, you can see sort of remnants of platforms on both sides. Not sure that this was the original platform. It seems quite low now, but you can see like there's wooden boards on both sides. Parallel to the station up there on the bank, there's some housing, and it sort of goes into some sort of bricklayers, sort of merchants area. So you can't really then get too far down towards Midhurst. It's all then blocked off. Although I have run on this bit further when you can sort of cut across country and pick up bits. But this time of year, it's been so wet, it's rather boggy. Perhaps this bit here was a bit of old platform. So I presume this was like the station house, which is now this company called the Richardsons of Nywood. Back there, the track bed sort of extends into that sort of merchant's yard there with fenced off, so you can't really get any further down that way. And then back here I'll show you the road bridge at the top. And here it is the road bridge over the railway from the top. You can just peer down there, you can see a bit of the old platforms there if you look very closely.